Hello students, let us discuss about symmetry. What do you mean by symmetry? Symmetry is nothing but regular arrangement of the body structure in a geometrical design relative to axis of the body. Axis, it's nothing but a mid-axis. Am I clear? Every organism will be having a central axis or mid-axis. Clear? When do we call an organism is a symmetrical organism or symmetrical animal? So, when the organism which will be having symmetry, and that animal is called as symmetrical animal. Symmetrical animals can be cut into equal to mirror image halves, and those are called as antimers. And what do you mean by antimer? So, antimer which is a dividing half from the symmetry. Suppose if you take a human being, am I clear? Will be finding two equal halves. These two equal halves are known as antimers. These antimer is nothing but dividing part or symmetrical part of the animal which will be having the symmetry. Got it? And either one or more planes. This is also important. And these symmetry will be having various types. First one is asymmetry. Second one is radial symmetry. Okay. And third one is bilateral symmetry. Right? And these all the types of symmetries will be categorized based on the structure and position of the organism or the animal. Here it is asymmetry. A for easily you can remember. In everywhere in this we should go with the terminology. Okay. Asymmetry. A for absence. What has to be? Absence here. Symmetry is absent. That's it. So, the organism which is not having symmetry, and such animals are called as asymmetrical animals. Okay. And next one is radial symmetry. What do you mean by radial symmetry? The organism will be giving radial symmetry based on its structure. It is also called as monaxial heteropolar symmetry. Monaxial heteropolar. If you observe this term, will be finding mono single axis, monaxial single axis, will be getting hetero different planes. Hence, it is called as monaxial heteropolar symmetry. We will discuss one by one. And the next one is bilateral symmetry, which is the advanced character of the higher organisms. Okay. So, generally we will be discussing in the evolution changes, especially first key transition, second key transition and third key transition, like that. First key transition is tissue formation. Second key transition of evolution is bilateral symmetry. Third key transition of evolution is coelom. So, in that aspects we are using, and these bilateral symmetry which is the most advanced character of the higher animals. Okay. And if you observe first one asymmetry, in that asymmetry as we discussed, which has no symmetry, and the organisms which they do not have symmetry. A best example, sponges. Right? So, sponges belongs to phylum Porifera. Okay. So, here I am taking this one cycon. Right? So, this cycon or any of the sponge. So, generally all the sponges are having pores on the body, belongs to phylum is what? Porifera. Okay. Then let us see an example of the asymmetrical organism. The best example is sponges. So, sponges belongs to phylum Porifera. Phylum Porifera. These organisms are having pores on the body. Right. Then this is an example for the Porifera. Now we cannot split or will go with the symmetry from this organism. hence it is called as asymmetrical. Am I clear? And here one more condition is primarily and secondarily. Then what does it mean by primarily? So here primary means larval condition and secondarily adult condition. The first thing I told you, this is an organism which is not having symmetry, hence we are calling this is called as what? Asymmetrical organism. But here the condition is organisms, the animals, they have a different kinds of symmetry at the larva stage and one more is adult stage. So larva stage it is known as primarily and adult stage is called as secondarily. Okay, maximum all the animals in the larva condition they are exhibiting bilateral symmetry. Maximum they are exhibiting bilateral symmetry. Okay, adult which will be exhibiting other symmetry. So for this the example is snail. Then if you go with the snail, will be having the best example which is exhibiting two kinds of symmetries. Okay. Right. So it is a example of the organism which is not having symmetry. Then how it is? If you observe here, snail, it is belongs to phylum mollusca. Okay now. It is belongs to phylum mollusca. Then why I have taken the example for this? This is an organism exhibiting asymmetry, right? When in the adult condition. So adult condition is exhibiting asymmetry. Am I clear? Which is nothing but secondarily. Then what about this organism's larva condition? In the larva condition, as I have mentioned, that is bilateral symmetry, right? Two aspects as we discussed. The first one is what? During the larva condition which is exhibiting bilateral symmetry, whenever it is transforming into adult, it is exhibiting asymmetry. So this is the best example for the asymmetrical organism, and here we need to remember two aspects. One is how the organism exhibiting symmetry in the larva condition, then how the organism exhibiting the symmetry in the adult condition, right? So this is about the asymmetry. Okay, next we'll move on to the radial symmetry, right? Next one is radial symmetry. Then what about the radial symmetry? So radial symmetry which is exhibiting based on the organism monaxial heteropolar symmetry as we discussed. So for this, an example of the organism is sea anemone. Yeah. So this is what? Sea anemone. Then how the organism which will be in a radial mode. Here, if you check it out, this is what? Sea anemone, and here this sea anemone will be exhibiting radial symmetry. Then how it is? Am I clear? As we discussed, from the midplane, okay now, from the midplane or from the mid-axis will be getting many planes. Am I clear? From the mid-axis will be getting many planes, hence it is called as monaxial heteropolar symmetry, and this is the best feature of the diploblastic animals. What is symmetry here? radial symmetry. Okay, now the kind of symmetry is radial symmetry, right? And these radial symmetry is seen in the phylum Cnidaria. Here it is. We'll go with the character Cnidaria, cnidoblast cells. Am I clear? So example, sea anemone. Then what kind of symmetry here? Symmetry is radial symmetry. It is also called as monaxial heteropolar symmetry. Monaxial, single axis, many planes will be getting from this. And example, phylum is Cnidaria, then sea anemone is a animal. Got it? And will be having oro-aboral axis. This is also important. Oro-aboral axis. Oro, oral, mouth, aboral, opposite. So here also will be finding this is a oro-aboral axis or a mid axis or central axis. So this is about what? Radial symmetry or monaxial heteropolar symmetry. Am I clear? And here one more important. Then how the organisms, they are exhibiting symmetry in the different levels. Here also will be having two kinds of symmetries. So generally the first thing, as we discussed, what? All the organisms, majority, they will be having larva condition, bilateral symmetry, but adult condition, they are exhibiting one more kind of symmetry. So for this I am taking here an example of starfish. What is that? Starfish. Then how the starfish? So starfish will be having 5 arms. 1, 2, 3, 4 and one more, sorry. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be having 5 arms, hence it is exhibiting pentamerous radial symmetry. What kind of symmetry here? Pentamerous. Penta means 5. So it is pentamerous radial symmetry. Then what does it mean by pentamerous radial symmetry? The organism which will be having 5 arms, it is exhibiting radial symmetry. Hence it is called as pentamerous radial symmetry. But what about the larva condition? It is in the larva condition same bilateral. Then adult one is pentamerous radial symmetry. Okay na? Right? So this is what? Starfish. Then how the starfish? So starfish will be having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 arms. It is in the adult form. Pentamerous radial symmetry. Here we need to remember 2 aspects. Then how the organism in the larva condition, that is known as primarily, and next one is adult, how it is showing the symmetry. Adult will be different. Then larva condition is different. That we are mentioning, larva condition is primarily, then adult condition is secondarily. I hope it's clear regarding the symmetry. The first one is what is symmetry, next one is asymmetry, and third aspect is what? Radial symmetry, right? And the next one is bilateral symmetry. So here this organism, am I clear? Which will be getting 2 equal halves, will be getting 2 equal halves from the midplane or a central axis, is known as what? Bilateral symmetry. Okay now, this is what? Bilateral symmetry. Right? So what we discussed? What is symmetry? Then types of symmetries. Next one is asymmetry. Asymmetry which they do not have symmetry. Example is sponges. And radial symmetry, the organism which is exhibiting monoaxial heteropolar symmetry. Example is sea anemone. And here also we will be discussing what? Larva condition and adult. Larva is nothing but primarily, then adult is secondarily. And here this is a bilateral symmetry which is the most advanced character of the higher organism, where we are getting two equal halves, and those equal halves are called as what? Antimers or mirror images. Right? So this is about the symmetry. It's clear?